Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk, and thank you for your continued support of a platform that is dedicated to industrial professionals all around the world, because you're bold, you're brave, you dare greatly, you innovate, you solve problems, and you're changing lives, and therefore you're changing the world each and every day. That's why we celebrate you on this podcast. If you can hear in the background, we have a lot of buzzy buzz in the background, and we are broadcasting on-site. Accruent Insights is the event. It is a user community that is all look, I'm just looking out, and then people are like pointing at the screen. They want problems solved, and they're using Accruent to be able to help them create a business that's far more resilient. All right, Kristi is in the hot seat. We're going to be talking about everything. Might as well. What the heck? Kristi, how you doing?
I'm great. Scott, thanks for having me.
I love it. I was excited. I'm excited to have this conversation for whatever reason.
Good.
I'm always excited.
Good.
Just because.
There's so much energy here.
Yes.
Yes. At Opryland, it is buzzing, and our customers
Did you get lost?
A little bit, but I enjoyed it because there's so many incredible things to look at here. But I think I've got it down. I'm my fourth day in, and I've got this place figured out.
Yeah, that's right. And then you were pulling out the big log, the map, and like this, and then you're laying it out, and you're trying to say, I'm right here, or whatever. Turn left at the green shrub, which the whole place is an atrium, and it's a green shrub.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. It really is. It is. And then every time when I have conversations about asset management or whatever the reliability, and then I look at this place and I think, how are they doing it? How were they down to the, change out that shrub, or there's a light over in the North 40 that is out.
I know.
I don't know.
We should have scheduled our own tour of this place just to get an inside view of the facilities and operations. One of our customers, she said that her husband dropped her off. He's in facilities management, and he said, I just want to come just to see the back side of all of the operations inside piece. So maybe we plan that for next time.
You have to.
Yeah.
Oh, and knock on the door to drag me along.
We will.
Gosh, that would be great. All right. For the listeners, give us a little background on who you are.
So I'm Kristi Flores. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Accruent.
She's a bigwig.
I don't know about that, but it's great to be here. I've been with Accruent for 9 months, but I've been with our, the larger organization of Fortive, previously at Tektronix for about 15 years. So I've been with the company for about 15 years. I have always been in technology. Tektronix really develops test equipment for engineers. Being at Accruent has been incredible. To spend time really with our customers this week has been incredible, especially because the first 9 months you're just,
And it hasn't happened in 4 years.
Yes, you're right. We have not had an in-person Insights event for 4 years, and so it's been...
I don't know how you talk technology over a Zoom, and then your face is like the size of a postage stamp, and you can't really just...
I know.
You just can't dig deep. And again, being out on the floor, looking at the multiple tables and the screens, and it's just this collaborative, collegial, environment. It's really... It's enjoyable. It's like, wow, what are they talking about?
I know. I love coming out here every day in between the sessions to see you with your podcast, and also behind us just to see all of our teams, professional services, consulting teams that are just available to our customers, and then just to see our customers engaging and networking. Those virtual events are helpful when we needed them and they were the right place at the right time, but there's so much more that happens than us just sharing information. The ability to enable our customers to benchmark and share among each other is incredible. So
let's talk a little bit about a strategic vision here, because one thing that I did glean from the many conversations, the wonderful conversations I've had, is that there's a lot of activity, a lot of movement, and it's dynamic, to say the least. Where's Accruent heading from your perspective? What are we trying to accomplish? Just because I see it, man, there's a lot. That's why you get paid the big bucks, and I just bring the beer.
One of the themes for this week has been innovation. So how we are creating, in some cases, it's going to be just enhancing what we're doing with our products that our customers love and use every day for those industry-leading products, even up to really disruptive innovation that we just announced this morning, actually. So Richard Lurig, our Chief Product and Technology Officer, announced 3 big products today. One of them was on integrating our products, especially as we think about workflows of our customers, and it's getting much more complex, and the pace that they need to go deliver and the productivity they need to go deliver, it's very difficult when their systems are siloed or they're working across functions and they don't have the right products or the connected products. So a big part of what we're doing is we're integrating a lot of our products and enhancing them through machine learning and AI just to make them easier for our customers. We continue to hear they're up against challenges on productivity and having to do things much quicker and faster. And some of that means that we can help them with the massive amount of data that we sit on. We can leverage that to make it easier. So big innovations around integrated workflows and integrating our products for our customers. One big example is integrating maintenance connection with Meridian. So how we're integrating our CMMS with our EDM for,
That's Meridian.
That's right.
There's CMMS.
The maintenance connection and Meridian, so electronic document management and our CMMS. So you can think about a technician that's going out to go repair something and having to access documentation on how it might be repaired. Oftentimes that's going to be 2 different systems. We're bringing it together so we can reduce downtime, we can make it easier for repair. The benefits are tremendous.
How do you take your user community, the dynamic user community? Everyone has there's maybe some common threads of like, hey, I got this problem. Oh yeah, Acme has that problem. Oh yeah, those companies have those common threads of commonality of challenges. But how does Accruent become nimble and dynamic enough to be able to satisfy these unique individuals? So now you're pulling it all together, but there's still this uniqueness to it. How do you do that?
When we, as you mentioned, oftentimes when we look across different industries, oftentimes there are very common problems that technicians are up against in these industries. But then when we actually see them applying it, there can be very unique needs that they have. And so it's creating enough of a foundation that we can help our customers with those common challenges, but then creating very specific applications by industry or application. For example, let's say Jude, who's currently implementing our TMS, our CMMS, the things that they need in the medical world are going to be very different than one of our industrial customers. And so there are different applications for that, whereas Service Channel, when we're really addressing problems in retail and grocery stores, they're going to be different. But at its core, there's a lot of commonality that we can repurpose. But there's a reason why we have these unique systems by industry, very purpose-built.
Kudos to Team Accruent, because when you start talking about medical, and you just look at it, right, and wow, there's stuff going on there, but I don't know what, but there's stuff going on there, versus maybe a manufacturing application or a fluid application. It doesn't matter. That to me just speaks highly of the team, because those are so unique. I don't know how you. So we have the focus on innovation, which just, again, I had this conversation with somebody and I said, innovation is traveling at 100 miles an hour, which is probably 150 miles an hour. Human ability to be able to adopt is at 40 miles per hour. And then and the gap is constantly being widened. And it's not the technology, it's always a human equation. Always a human equation. How does Accruent deal with that reality?
We have a culture of experimentation, and it's a bigger part. It's one part of our innovation management kind of philosophy and approach. So we have a very strong foundational system around innovation, but we also instill this mindset across the corporation, including when we're developing new products, around deeply understanding our customers and their problems, and then also driving experimentation. And so that helps reduce the uncertainty and fear when our customers are going out to drive those changes and looking at even new technology. We've talked a lot about AI and machine learning this week, and it can be paralyzing, even for some of, for our customers to think, where do I get started? And that's just it. Doing oftentimes is the best kind of thinking. And so we're pushing our teams, get started, start integrating AI and machine learning. How can we leverage ChatGPT, even from a marketing perspective?
Yeah.
Let's start driving a lot of experimentation. Well, we heard from Josh Linkner, our keynote speaker yesterday. You start with micro innovations, and they oftentimes build up into something bigger. So we try to just get started.
It's a start conversation.
Yeah.
Just because when you mentioned AI, there's this tipping point, and the tipping point was, from my perspective, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody's like, "Have you heard about that? Have you heard?" And then all of a sudden, it just grew. It became viral, and it just blew up. And then for companies, large companies, Accruent, to be nimble enough to be able to say, "Yeah, we better jump on board," because it just 5 months ago it was like, whatever.
Yeah, and it's emerging, you start kind of, as you go through a lot of the ideation and brainstorming, you start thinking, okay, what are the biggest pain points? Could we potentially use this technology to go solve some of the labor shortages that we have in some of our industries? And how might we make it faster for them to get their work done so they can actually do more? When we look at some of the new innovations that we've introduced this week, we're introducing changes that are impacting time by 40%, and in some cases 60%. So that's material for our customers who are already have too much work.
60% reduction?
Reduction in the improvement,
yeah,
compared to some of the improvements we're making on those products. Maybe it took them 10 minutes, and now it's going to take them 6 minutes or 4 minutes to do those work orders, do the change management, and leverage some of the systems. So we're constantly looking, what are the biggest pain points, and then meshing it up with how might we leverage some of the new technology to.
How are you dealing with the AI thread and data analytics? Everybody, I can collect data off of anything, but is it meaningful? No, I'm not. I don't have the bandwidth to say, well, that too is me. I don't have it. So how is Accruent saying, okay, data? Everybody's saying data, get data, but we've got to make it meaningful.
Yeah, and Scott, it's oftentimes just connecting it to the pain points. We have a great partnership with one of the largest global retailers and grocers, and they're telling us that they've lost about $600 million because of failures of their equipment, and typically around refrigeration, and $200 million of that is because of maintenance failure.
Hold it, I was still sort of.
I know, $600 million.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how big this
on
retailer.
That one, and then I just sort of phased out on what you were saying. I'm going, $600
million because they're and this is typically in their grocery store. So you can imagine, a refrigeration unit fails and everything in there perishes, right? So when we think about, okay, we're talking to some of our customers and they're saying this is a huge problem, $600 million, if we can go solve that. And then we think, okay, how could we leverage technology? How could we leverage all those data points? And so what we're doing is we're leveraging tools like our Observe software to say, okay, look, if we've got all these data points and we could potentially predict when that refrigeration unit, if we're starting to see indicators of it typically fails when we see these things, that can really help our customers. And so those are the things that we're leveraging, some of these powerful artificial intelligence, machine learning, to go do that predictive piece of it. And
to be able to put into action is saying, okay, I'm looking at the data, I'm sensing the fact that some sort of algorithm is in the background that's saying, hey, it looks like it's trending in the wrong direction.
That's right.
Whatever it might be, whatever.
Yes.
And then be able to call out, and it looks like it's a bearing, it's on this particular unit.
Yep.
I will contact this, maintenance individual, and it's almost it's almost invisible to it just.
Yeah, you just fix it before
happens.
it breaks.
Yes.
Yes. So from a cost standpoint, but also you think about the customer experience in these. You don't want to go buy product that you take home and it's been thought out and then not to the quality that you expect.
Yeah, that opens up a whole other can of worms
Absolutely.
that you don't want to deal with, quite frankly.
From a safety, from a customer experience. So, yes, so it's meshing these big problems and thinking, how might we leverage new technology and just getting started?
Where do you find yourself at? Let's say there's this continuum, this sort of, I see the future, and the future is brilliant, but we're right here.
Yeah.
Where are we at on that sort of that timeline? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I know that's a big question.
It is a big question.
I don't know.
Well, Richard Lurig, our Chief Product and Technology Officer, mentioned this morning that PricewaterhouseCooper had a stat that we're going to see 40%. We should see 40% improvement in productivity by 2035. So if you just think about generally how a society can go drive those type of gains, that's a massive leap. And so I think if you just think about that goal, we definitely need to get started on tapping into all of the advanced technology at our fingertips, but also just deeply figuring out with our customers how we can get them, how can we help them keep up with what's happening.
They have to be engaged. They have to do it. It's a non-negotiable. If you have a business, if you want a business that is resilient, it is a must conversation. And for me personally, I want to be able to connect with somebody I trust. Because there's a lot of shingles hanging out there, the people that say they can do it.
Yep.
But we understand the statistics, and there's a lot of failure out there. I just want somebody I can trust, but I need to be engaged. Is that accurate? I just need to.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I don't see any other way around it. So we have the innovation. We have all of the stuff that's taking place today. What is exciting for you? What's like, God, I'm Kristi, and I'm excited about this bad boy.
I am so incredibly excited and inspired to be with our customers.
Yeah.
It's probably the most energizing thing for me this week, for our team. This is the best week of the year for us to be able to gather over 500 customers, for them to join us, to dedicate a few days for them to learn, to network, and honestly, just for me to continue to hear what's keeping them up at night. How are they driving their businesses, their universities, their campuses? How are they running things, and how can we help? So I continuously get energized and inspired by our customers.
Do you take all that energy and then you go back to the home office and then you try to really sort of, hey, this is good stuff, this is priority, this was brilliant, this whatever, and be able to prioritize how you as an organization strategically tackle these insights?
Yeah, absolutely.
Accruent Insights.
There you go.
That's right. And then you had a barbecue last night. Let's go.
We did.
So how do people get a hold of you? They're saying, I want to know.
I want to know. I'm a very accessible person. So my team can always have access to me. I'm on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me at Accruent.
You're not going to ghost me if I say, hey, I want to be a part of your network out on LinkedIn.
I would never do that, Scott. I hope we'll be connected this afternoon. Let's say that.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay.
And in fact, I'll put it in a podcast and say, she kept her promise.
Okay, good. Let's follow
All right.
up.
Thank you very much. This was a great conversation.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed it. All right, listeners, we're going to have all the contact information for Kristi out on Industrial Talk, so fear not. Reach out to her because, quite frankly, you will not be disappointed. You need to be a part of this conversation. You need to be a part of managing your assets for a bright future. Yeah, put that on a bumper sticker.
I love it.
All right, we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right. Right on our LinkedIn stat card right there. I see it right in front of me. Easy to get in contact with Kristi. Easy. And clearly by the interview, she's an open book, and she definitely has an interest in talking to you. And the reality is, once again, You need some solutions out there to create that business that is resilient, and you're going to have to leverage that technology. What I like about what we spoke on was this effort to try to pull everything together, the user community, right? Hey, and you just get the benefit from all of those conversations, but then have a strong platform that pulls in all of these solutions so that it's seamless. How do you argue against that? You need it. All right. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. We're going to have more conversations coming from Accruent Insights. By the way, put that on your bucket list to attend next year. Big time. All right. Hang out with Kristi. You'll change the world. Talk soon.